They're the 8 for the first of the 2 semifinals, including, Marty Reed, the unbeaten Chris Vincent.
Everything was perfect yesterday for number 46, Chris Vincent, but not this morning. They ended up snapping a 15-cent coupler, and it puked antifreeze all over everything, including the belts. The dangerous part about that is they had to tear it down and dry it all off. They have it going. He says, hey, I'm ready to go racing. I'm glad it happened then, not now. Curtis Crapo, he's got the best hopes for Team Polaris. He's the second quickest qualifier in this heat.
And of course, ready to start as well, Sean Palmer, the amazing ex-athlete. Here we go, semifinal number 1. Boy, and look at this battle as it comes up the hill with Chris Vincent on 46, leading Curtis Crapo on number 9.
Doesn't look like there was much problem with those drive belts on that uphill run. Vincent just canned it. Crapo went right with him. That might be Straggy who snuck into third with a great launch right there.
In fact, Jesse Strag drops into third place. Chris Vincent through the hairpin for the first time. Loses a little time, but gets a good exit.
Well, that was it, and somebody's down right in the middle. That is Palmer. Palmer has come off.
So Sean Palmer's incredible odyssey to this point may have just come to an end, but he has earned the respect of every racer on this course. Back at the front now, Chris Vincent still being chased by Curtis Crapo.
That's 144 Aaron Shield, who's having a very strong run. Great effort by Aaron Shield. If you recall last year in the semifinal round, he really came on. He's doing it again.
Don't forget the critical battle here is at 4th place right now between Streg and Brian Call, because 4th, well, he moves ahead into the finals. Anything below 4th, and you're going to have to race again. And at 9,000 feet of altitude, they don't want to have to do that.
It definitely takes its toll on those 2 Arctic Cats. They're going to have some serious battle going on. And Dermis, if you remember last year, Dennis Dermis got hurt, broke his ankle in the X Games. He'd like to get to the final in this one too. So far though, all Vincent. But that battle coming up behind is pretty close. Look at this. That's Shield, and that is Call right behind him.
So this is the battle that's going to make a world of difference when we come to the end of these 4 laps. Vincent still the quickest on the circuit. Call the bottom of the 4th, Streg. He's the one that you have to keep an eye on. And look at this fight.
That Shield to the inside. Look at Call, motor up the outside. What a move, and if he gets in front of Shield, that's a little extra padding. A lot of speed into the top. Boy, they're still dead even over flyaway.
And the fight continues. This is the fight for the transfer spot, and it is still side-by-side racing.
Paul got it very crossed up in the air, Paul, and he saved it. Remember now, he has passed Shield. He's up into 3rd, but one quick tumble, he's out of the transfer.
So now Shield in 4th, and Streg sitting back there. We'll have to keep an eye on him. Chris Vincent, followed by this man. Curtis Crapo continues to be the dominant force at the front.
Vincent all by himself, the margin, well, it's more than 3 seconds now even, as he got another great drive up the hill. Vincent putting on a clinic.
Crapo the fastest up on the last lap. Marty?
2 things. One, on Jesse Streg. Guys, I'm really surprised. He did so well yesterday, but he did not do well in that 3rd heat when he was up against some of the bigger guns. He's right now not in a transfer spot.
Well, Marty, part of the problem is he didn't get a great start, and back in the pack, he sometimes doesn't have the ability or perhaps the handling of the sled to get back in front of drivers. He's struggling.
His focus now is the 144 sled of Aaron Shield. That's the battle for the transfer, as you can see here at the front. 46, Chris Vincent on that black Skidoo is unchallenged. He is about to make it 4 wins and remains unbeaten here at X. A little clicker there as he comes down.
Vincent celebrating. He's been practicing that heel clicker for this very special occasion, and he's used it fairly often. Here's that battle at the back. Call, and it looks like Shield's going to get that last transfer.
So Vincent, Curtis Crapo, Brian Call, and Aaron Shield, they will move ahead to the final. The bottom 4, well, they're going to go to the last chance qualifier.
Well, you can't see the smile underneath the helmet, but it's there. 4 for 4. You're still stoking, and after the scare this morning with the clamp, you got to feel real good.
Yeah, I feel awesome. You know, the sled is just running awesome. As you can see, pulling out of the hole out front. The rest of it, I just got to stay smart and ride a smart race. It's going awesome. Competition stuff, it's really great. You know, we got the extreme racers out here, 32 of them. I'm happy to be where I am.
One point I got to bring up. Tim Mackey's sled, same as yours, isn't it? But yesterday he burnt a piston. Are you worried about the same thing happening to you?
No. Timmy had some different carburetors on his sled yesterday. I guess it didn't work out for him, but my sled's strong. You know, we always got to worry about stuff like that, but I leave that up to the mechanics, and I just go out and ride the sled.
Okay, you've won in real cruddy conditions yesterday. You now won in nice conditions, and this is traditionally Blair Morgan's style. He loves it like this. Are you this confident? Is it going to be a perfect day?
I'm looking for a perfect day. Me and Blair, I'm sure, will have a real tough race out there, but my Ski-Doo's fast. My mechanics have done awesome. It's going to be a fun race.
Nice heel clicker at the end, too.
Thanks a lot.
Remember with Marty's comment about Vincent right here and that drive belt problem with the clamp and the coolant inside the engine, they were concerned. Was that belt going to slip and rob him of power? Guess not. Look at that hole shot. He's by Crapo. He's in the lead. That one's done. Great start by Vincent. The mechanic's doing a great job. Palmer, though, makes the classic rookie mistake. Right here, so we stop it, take a look. His skis get into the track of that cat right in front of him. The guy behind is always going to lose because it washes your skis out and it tips you over. Bingo. There he goes. Not a hard off, but a significant off. He's out of the transfer. But Chris Vincent at the front, as we said, it was time for the clinic, and he's going to show us once again how you do a heel clicker. Just like that.
And so with semifinal number 1 complete, the top 4, Vincent, Curtis, Crapo, Brian Call, and Aaron Shield, they go directly to the final. The bottom 4, including Sean Palmer, will have one more chance in the last chance qualifier. The second and final of the 2 semifinal rounds, and the focus here is that we have a really excellent field, Marty.
Absolutely. Blair Morgan this morning, we had heavy snow and high winds. He says, oh no, not again. He likes to have the clear weather, but he's got his wish now. The other guy we want to keep an eye on in this heat is going to be Tony Heikkinen. That right thumb, we thought it would get really stiff after he jammed it yesterday severely, but he says it actually feels better right now than it has since yesterday's crash during practice. He says he's ready to go. He is the gold medalist from last year.
And remember, Marty, Trevor John, he broke his ankle yesterday. That red Polaris number 85, he's out there. He wants this.
And look at that. Unbelievable. He comes flying up the hill. Shabinski gets in trouble, but a Polaris is adios to the rest of the field.
Paul, that is exactly what Trevor John needed. A good start so that if that ankle starts to bother him, he can lose a spot or two, still make the transfer. And Heikkinen got hit by Morgan at the top of the hill. They both survived it.
18-year-old Trevor John is leading this semifinal, Marty.
Well, the thing, I talked to him about it right before. You mentioned his ankle. He says it hurts a lot on the landings. So we'll have to see what happens. His goal was to get the hole shot like he did, stay out in front, because he says it's going to get sore every time I hit the ground.
Heikkinen in second. There he comes over the jump. There comes Blair Morgan. And Nathan Titus fourth. The top 4, again, they're the key because they are the transfer.
You'll notice that lead group of 4 has opened up a bit of a margin over Ibsen, Reimer, Berggren, and Shabinski. They want to settle this amongst themselves. And if they're all broken free of that other group, you don't have to race quite so hard. Maybe save yourself a little bit for the final. But Trevor John, he's got some heat behind him. And Heikkinen, amazing after that hit from Morgan that he's still second.
Yeah, but Morgan is now there, beginning to challenge last year's gold medalist Tony Heikkinen.
And Heikkinen once again doing it the hard way with that big practice crash we talked about, hurting his thumb and having some other problems in the qualifiers. This time he wants to get there in the final. Last year he had to come through the LCQ. He doesn't want to do that again.
Blair Morgan 7C, he brings it way wide, trying to keep the momentum going. Down the hill they come. Heikkinen now closing on the leader.
There's the indication we're halfway, and the battle for fourth starting to shape up. Young Ken Ibsen, the semi-pro rider, is starting to close in on Titus. Look at that, the margin is virtually nil.
As predicted, this is one great semifinal round. On board now, Nathan Titus. Oh, is that fantastic? Look at it fly, boom!
When it goes calm like that, folks, remember, he's only about 40 feet in the air. Ramping it down, and Reimer, Paul, is closing up big.
Reimer on 100 is in there. He's alongside Titus.
Titus that time used the inside line, got it straightened out, and hit the throttle on that big Yami triple and outpulled Reimer. But Reimer is charging. He's driving some great lines.
Nathan Titus on the Yamaha, back up at the front. 1 lap to go now. And it's a three-way battle at the front of this field. John, Heikkinen, and Morgan all right together. Titus closing. Morgan closing on Heikkinen.
He is closing it up big time. I don't know that he's going to try anything too intense here because they know they've got the lead, although he almost nudges Heikkinen again, and Morgan bicycled it, almost came off.
Canadian Morgan was quickest, last lap around. Now he comes alongside Heikkinen, and boy, he just powers past him.
And one of the reasons they are racing this hard, even though the top 4 transfer, there's a seeding process here. The higher you finish, you get to come to the line before the other people and get a better lane choice. Morgan knows that's crucial.
Oh, can Trevor John hold off a charging Blair Morgan? Blue skies, crisp, billowy white clouds overhead. The weather that Morgan likes. Look at him come. He's right there alongside John.
Couple of little nudges there, but he knew that he had to get away from him. What a great finish.
Looking back in the field now to see how they will come off. Nathan Titus finishes in 4th. He transfers to the final as well. Reimer, Trubisky, Ibsen, and Per Bergen will all have to ride the last chance qualifier.
Well, this guy ought to race with a fractured ankle more often. What an incredible run. I got to ask you first off, how painful is it?
Very painful, and not only that, we just got my sled together just a hair before we took off. We just got it put together. Oh, tired.
Yeah, but you only have to race one more time now. No last chance qualifier. What was the difference for you?
I guess I just went out and said I'm going to give it no matter what, no matter how bad it hurts. And it was just, I lost concentration of the race basically because my sled wasn't together. So I just kind of went out and said, oh, I'll do whatever. I didn't think the thing was going to run, but it ran great.
Well, what was the last minute problem with the sled?
We burnt it down like right before the race. So we just got it together. It was a big surgery right before the race.
Will it hold up for 6 more laps, and will your ankle hold up for 6 more?
It's going to hurt afterwards, but yeah, it's going to hold up.
Yeah, but guys, if he gets a gold medal, the pain will be real easy to endure.
The top of the hill at the start was incredibly eventful for both Morgan and Heikkinen. Watch this. As they're going in, that's Tony, and look, you can see the line he's going to run. Morgan's got a little bit more steam. He's going to try and jam it in there, and there is some huge contact right there. Bang! Heikkinen's sled snaps out. He almost comes off. Morgan gets sideways, and that forces Shibitsky into a crash. Now look at this. Morgan, as a result, has picked up a tire. Normally, it gets trapped and you're done. Look what Morgan does. Just ramps it, cans it, goes right over it. But as a result, Heikkinen's in front of him. But on the 4th lap, remember we talked about how important the seating was. Heikkinen's off to the right. He hits a big jump right there, lifts Morgan up on that ramp, around the outside. He's into 2nd. It's going to give him a better start for the final. But remember Trevor John, broken ankle. Look how high he is. He's thinking about that landing. Oh, when that rockets right up through that broken ankle. He had to think about that all the way to the landing.
But there can't be a better story as Trevor John wins semi number 2, moves to the final along with Morgan Heikkinen and Nathan Titus. The bottom 4 wait for the last chance qualifier. This is the last chance qualifier, the extra race. 2 will go to the final, 6 will go home. Marty?
Well, Jesse Strag yesterday in the pre-qualifying round had 2 firsts and a 4th. We wonder what happened during this semifinal. Well, he popped the motor during practice. He had to go to a backup engine and a backup sled. It's just not performing as well. What about Sean Palmer, that number 141? Well, guys, those feathers you see coming out of my mouth, it's still all the crow that I'm eating because I didn't even think he'd make it to the round of 16.
And Marty, let's keep in mind Per Berggren, last year's bronze medalist. He's in the LCQ. This is truly his last chance.
And Berggren will have one of the on-sled cameras. Here we go, the last chance qualifier. 2 will go to the final. Look at this fight among Polaris as they come to the top of the hill.
What a great start by 29, Jeremy Crapo, but then he had huge pressure to the inside by Dennis Dermis, and right down the middle comes 96 Shabitsky on the Yami.
The 17-year-old Shabitsky on Yamaha, number 96 comes down that hill, leads the field down. But look there as Jeremy Crapo comes to the inside. They are in the hairpin now. It's a battle for the lead. Crapo wanting to join his brother in the final. And then they've got that battle with 96. Unbelievable.
Tremendous racing, and Dennis Dermis right there in third. Any mistake by these two young guys, the veteran, the savvy Dennis Dermis is right there. Shabitsky, Crapo, great battle.
Sean Palmer, you'll see him here in a second. He sits back in fourth place.
Shabitsky now opening it up on the way up the hill. He got out of that last corner, Paul, with a very good drive. Early on the throttle, that's so key.
Remember, only the top 2 will move to the final. The rest will join you as spectators. And those two, Shabitsky now is beginning to pull well away.
Crapo right there in second, and then the battle behind. And look at Ken Ibsen closing up on Dermis, trying to find something. And he got him. Ibsen is third, and Paul, remember, we've got 2 more laps in this one. A little extra time to maybe close it up, make something happen.
The 6 laps, in fact, those 2 extra laps do make a world of difference for some of the racers. Now the question is, youth and vitality only carries you so far. Is it wise for Shabitsky to be so far out in front?
Well, I think he just wants to make sure he's got a big lead. He looks over, gets a signal from his crew chief. Look at the lead he's opened up. Then it's Crapo. Here is Ibsen, and he's clear of Dermis, and he is trying everything he can to try and run down Crapo. He's third. That's not good. Oh! And he just made a huge mistake.
Sean Palmer, you see there, has dropped all the way to the last position.
Ibsen didn't wait that long, got back around Dermis, but still in all, Paul, that bobble he had cost him a lot of ground to second place Crapo.
Looking back to the front, there is Shabitsky. He is followed by Crapo. Marty?
Well, the 17-year-old Shabitsky in the longer races during the regular season has sort of faded near the end, whether it be concentration or fatigue. So I talked to him and I said, hey, this is 6 laps. What do you think? He says, hey, the only reason I didn't make it in my heat was because I got tangled up in another person's mistake. He's at the halfway point. He's smoking this field, guys.
As Shabitsky from Duluth, Minnesota. His father won the Eagle River World Championship, and that got Carl interested in doing what he's doing here today. So maybe we'll see a gold medal when this day is over for the 17-year-old.
Fast Eddie Shabitsky, he was a legend, and talk about a proud father watching what Carl is doing, not just here at the X Games, but on the WSA circuit. He has been very fast.
Ibsen still continues his move on Crapo.
He's almost stalking him a little bit, Paul. He's watching, working some different lines, and he has closed it back in. Look at that, he's down to a sled length in the hairpin.
At this point, with 4 laps complete, you can kind of afford to wait. Look for that last lap.
There it is, and Crapo, in certain spots, Crapo's getting out of the turns with a little bit better speed. In other sections, Ibsen's getting into them very strongly. They're really accordioning. The problem is, Ibsen's not close enough to try the pass.
Polaris and Ski-Doo fight here. This, of course, is the transfer spot. Currently, Crapo is there. Ken Ibsen, he'd love to come forward and knock Crapo out of there and go to the final.
And again, I can't say enough about him being a semi-pro rider. He's not even a pro. Got into the qualifier at Duluth for the X Games, put on a huge show and made the cut. Crapo, though, has found something. He's opened it up by about 10 lengths.
Oh, did you hear that sled slam to the ground as Crapo came over the jump? Whoa!
Well, when you've got pressure behind you, sometimes you just have to pin it a little bit, hold it down a little longer, and that means you might over-jump a landing. You don't have an option. You've got to go for it. This is the last chance after all.
Carl Shabitsky just saying goodbye to everybody else. An incredible lead. 96, almost unbeatable. One more lap to go.
Well, last year as a pro, when he was running as a 16-year-old independent, he picked up the nickname Showtime. When he wants to, he can go huge. Right now, he's all focused. He just needs to finish this one.
The one thing to remember, though, for both Shibitsky and Crapo, assuming that they transfer into the final, is that they have had to run one extra race. And they have had to run that race at 9,000 feet of altitude. The air is very thin up here. Additionally, it's a 6-lap, not a 4-lap race. It takes a lot out of you.
On the other hand, though, Paul, something to think about, with that 6-lap run, they're going to know how their sleds are running at the end of a 6-lap race. The others aren't. Might be a little bit to gain from this.
So here he comes, the youngest man in competition, unchallenged for the lead of the last chance qualifier. He brings it down the hill for the last time. Almost takes it easy, and now there are 2 high schoolers in the final. Coming across in second, that's Crapo. Those are the 2 transfer spots. The rest of these guys are all gonna be spectators.
And not just Shibitsky. Remember, the Crapo family has made the final.
Well, here are the guys who held the drama out the longest. Carl Shibitsky, man, you flew away in that last chance qualifier. Congratulations.
Yeah, well, I kind of got screwed up in my heat race or whatever up in top, and just kind of, you know, try to buy my positions, wait for last chance. And last chance, I got a hole shot, got out front, and then I rode my own race, so it felt good.
The other half of the Crapo family, Jeremy, do you realize you have 20% of the field in the final?
You bet. Yeah, feels good to have a brother out here.
Could you hear your mother and the family? I mean, they're right behind us over there screaming right now. Could you hear them going by?
No, but I could see him.
Did it make a difference?
Yeah, it does. It does. It helps a lot.
Okay, let me ask both of you. Remember last year, Heikkinen won this thing after coming out of the last chance qualifier. Can you guys do it?
Well, yeah, we're used to last chance, usually start in the back row, but last chance this weekend, you get front row start. So anything can happen. You know, you get a hole shot, there's not many laps. Just ride your own race, you could win.
Means you got to smoke your brother.
That's right. We can do that.
We'll find out, guys. Main event is next.
Remember yesterday when Jesse Streg, he loved that far outside hole shot. It paid off with 2 great launches. This time something happened. He was dogging it up the hill. And watch this now. There he is. He is going to get swallowed up when we get into the top of the turn and get roosted huge. Right there, he disappears. He's already a complete non-factor. When you live by the hole shot, sometimes you die by the hole shot. Now, young Carl Shibitsky talked about him getting a little tired in the long races on a rough track. Not here. It is smooth. Watch this landing. There is no big mogul anywhere. He is on the hammer. He is gone. He's loving this place.
And so Carl Shibitsky and Jeremy Crapo fill out the 9th and the 10th slots in the final. The last chance qualifier is done. The medals are about to be awarded. The final, 10 racers, 6 laps. And last year's gold medalist Tony Heikkinen is now challenged by the unbeaten Chris Vincent, 2 brothers and 2 high schoolers. And there are 3 each, Arctic Cat sleds and Polaris sleds, 2 Skidoos, and Marty, 2 Yamahas on the line.
Chris Vincent, the very first heat, we told you he had unfinished business here at the X Games. He can make history by winning his 5th race in 5 attempts. Says he's ready for it. The guy is his biggest competition, Blair Morgan. He has been beaten twice in this race. He says if it comes down to it, this could be Brubben turns into racing. As far as everything else is concerned, we call this the Winter X Games, guys, but I gotta tell you, it's time to go to war.
Well, speaking of going to war, number 85, Trevor John, the remarkable guy with the broken leg. He knows you can win from this. Remember Heikkinen last year.
A little more crowded up the hill. Chris Vincent takes the lead into the first corner. 2 Polaris drop in right behind him. That's Crapo and John.
One of the big stories is 7C Morgan got swallowed up deep in the pack. He is way back there. Vincent, huge lead already.
Chris Vincent with power and skill leads him up the hill. Down for the first pass downhill.
85 John, and then there's 9 Crapo. Look at this bottle up, and look at that move as Morgan went by about 3 sleds in the hairpin.
Boy, visibility is absolutely rotten behind the leaders, though. Chris Vincent continues to lead him down the hill. The surprise, Marty, is Blair Morgan. Where is he?
Well, Morgan's in fourth right now. Surprisingly, he told me right before the start, he says, Marty, I gotta be third through that first turn. That's the only way I got a shot at Vincent. Now he's fourth. He's got a long road to hoe.
And Marty, one of the things, Morgan, given the chance, will always choose the inside line. But if you use that inside line, you've got to be near the front at that first turn and you get hammered. That's what happened to him.
Chris Vincent takes to the air once again, down the hill. Second lap complete. We're going to go on board and take a look at the view that Trevor John sees as they continue to battle out. We're having a problem with that camera, so we won't be able to do it. But look at this. We're getting a closure.
Morgan just made the move down into that hairpin around number 9 Crapo. That corner has been so tough, and Morgan has figured it out. He really is something special.
So Blair Morgan now looking at Trevor John, second place. Chris Vincent still running away with this thing. But remember, the longer distance, 6 laps. It's hard on everybody. Vincent is rested. So is Morgan. So is John.
Right now, the margin that Vincent has is almost 4 seconds, and that's a nice pad. If he does have to back off, gets a little tired, he's got a little room. Trevor John, though, with Morgan right behind him, Paul, is feeling huge pressure, although he got through that turn beautifully and opened it up over Morgan.
Morgan is all over Trevor John coming up the hill, but now John has been able to open it up. There goes Blair into the air. Here they come again. Vincent continues to be unchallenged in this final. I'm sure in his mind this will make up a great deal for last year where he had so many hopes and performed so poorly.
He self-admitted that he overrode last year. He felt the pressure. Right now, he's got no pressure at all.
Marty, 18-year-old Trevor John continues to hold off Blair Morgan in second.
That's exactly what he did in his heat race, if you remember. Now, the one thing that they changed on the machine was they changed the jetting to lean the motor a little bit more, and it looks like it's paying some big dividends.
Oh, here's an interesting fact. Look at the graphic there. Heikkinen was second quick on that last lap. And while he sits back in the field in 5th, he's flying.
Heikkinen definitely moving up through the pack a little bit. Look at Morgan get huge air, and he's trying to use that high line and ramp down into the corner, and there is Heikkinen. And he is, although he's moving up, look at Shabitsky staying right with him.
Oh, young Carl Shabitsky is right there behind Tony Heikkinen with 4 laps complete. This is still anybody's game.
Tremendous action right here, and Morgan, he's gone around Trevor John. Morgan is second.
So Blair Morgan moving to second place. Trevor John on 85 drops back. Still unchallenged at the front is Chris Vincent. And now he can begin to sense victory. It seems that only a mechanical incident now would make a difference. Well, there it shows. Fastest last lap was Blair Morgan, and that included the pass on Trevor John.
Morgan, though, 4.5 seconds behind Vincent with about a lap and a half to go. He's going to have to pull out the proverbial miracle here. Vincent airing it huge. He knows that this one's his. The problem, Paul, with a big lead like this, he's got to stay focused, keep his head in this.
You know, I think Morgan got on the radar with his jump last time as well. So they are both flying. Vincent, Morgan, John, top 3.
Morgan working that hairpin, and he really is smooth and fast through that section of track. But you can see turning into that turn at the top of the hill on the way back down through the mobile field, that is so choppy.
This has got to be a great feeling for Chris Vincent on his Ski-Doo. That wide lead. But look at the Canadian Blair Morgan on his cat. He's beginning to nibble away as they enter the final lap. Can Morgan on 7C get it done? He charges up that hill. Chris Vincent leads him into turn 1. Morgan again was the fastest sled on the last lap.
He was faster than Vincent by over a second. He took a second and 3/10 off Vincent. And Paul, I think we are seeing a classic case of the cream truly rising to the top.
If Morgan doesn't make it, you can't take a thing away from this run. He's giving it everything he has. Chris Vincent with victory almost in hand now. Through the hairpin. Morgan closes even more. Vincent rockets off the corner. Makes the right-hander. Morgan cuts down to the inside. Morgan still working Vincent.
Morgan is inspired. When he gets this close, he literally smells opportunity, and he is closing up, but there's one corner for Vincent.
It's going to come right down to the finish. Chris Vincent, yes! Chris is the man this year and goes off the sled in victory. Blair Morgan almost runs over him as he comes to a stop. Morgan comes off the sled, first and second, side by side there. What a run that was. And Trevor John finishes in third.
Lost a pipe. A pipe? Yeah. Oh, stretching it. Man.
I hope something like that.
What do you guys check it? You all right?
Yeah, but
Yesterday, you said you were the better racer than the showman. You just proved it.
Yeah, you know, it was fun to get out in front. Held on really good. Race went great. Sled started slowing down. I cracked a pipe or something. Blair's he's able to catch up to me there, but hey, the Skidoo held out. The whole team's awesome. And without my mechanic right there, George Schreier, he's the best there is.
5 for 5, guys. 5 for 5. No one's ever done it. Next games.
I'm glad we did it, and I wouldn't have done it without this guy. This guy's awesome.
And over here too,
Glenny, thanks, man. It's awesome. Definitely.
This puts to bed a lot of ghosts from last year, doesn't it?
Well, like I said, the only pressure there was going to be on me was the pressure I put on myself. It's nice to race without any pressure.
Will you change the heel clicker at the end?
I was just tired, thinking about everything. A lot of things going through my mind, but it was fun. Thanks for letting me win, buddy.
Here comes Blair Moore. I don't think you let him win. You told me you had to be third coming out of that start, and you didn't get the start you needed.
No, I think I was about 6th or 5th, and it was a tough time seeing out there. It's a lot of snow dust, and I just tired, you know. Race was pretty short, and I know I had to get to the front fast, and caught up to him a little bit at the end, and just ran out of time.
One more lap. It could have been different, couldn't it?
Yeah, I wish it was a longer race. You know, I feel pretty good. I feel strong right now, and it just didn't happen.
Hey, silver's not too bad. I mean, a lot better than last year.
Yeah, it was. I knew I was going to do good. Top 3 for sure this year, and as long as I kept it on the rubber side down.
Well, get together here, guys, because these two are the two best. No, but I got to tell you, you definitely have proven you're the 2 best snowcross racers in the world. Congratulations, guys.
I like it that way. Nobody's better than the other. We're both the best.
You're looking at probably the sorest ankle in Crested Butte, Colorado, but it belongs to the happiest man who comes in with a bronze medal. Congratulations, Trevor John.
Thanks.
How painful is it?
It hurts. It hurts right now. I had to get off my feet. I was standing up, and it feels a lot better when I just sit on my sled, actually.
A bronze medal will make the pain a little bit less severe, won't it?
Definitely. I'm so happy with this. I mean, I'm young, and this is like my first X Games, so I did good. It's not me. It's the sled that won the race. So there's a lot of guys that worked really hard, and I'd like to thank Rick Bates, team manager, Mikey Doe, my mechanic. I'd like to thank Polaris, Woody's, Camoplast, all the guys that put everything together for me, and I got the easy job. I just get to ride it.
Well, if it's your first X Games, you got the routine about getting all the sponsors' names down pretty good. Realistically, though, this morning, did you feel that you were going to be able to come out of this with a medal knowing the pain you were in?
Realistically, I had no idea how it was going to go. I just hoped for the best. I talked with Curtis Crapo. He finished 4th, and he's just like, Trev, just go out there and just give her, man. And that's what I did. Once you're out there, you don't really think about the pain, no matter how bad it hurts. You just try to get it done. It's a big event, and pain goes away.
Congratulations, buddy. That bronze medal's going to be around your neck in just a few moments.